how am I really helping? You know, and that's where I also had to really think about the person. Because sometimes, when we're being a helper and we're doing these things, sometimes we're helping them, but sometimes inside you're doing something for yourself. Something that you're doing, what you're doing with that person is giving something to you. That's something that you need. And what I'm saying in that point is, what is that? Because
so it's important to check your hidden agenda, right? Because sometimes there's something going on
with you.
Yeah.
Right. And in the process of that, you're going and going and going. And like you were saying earlier, and you're not really helping that person. Because in the back of the situation, how you're going about it, there may be something else you're working on within yourself, a reason why, like you said, it could be guilt, right? It could be the boundaries you haven't really set, right? And that's the fourth thing. Make sure you have your boundaries in check. What are your boundaries? Have you ever even created any? Or do you just kind of float through life and just take it as it go? So you just let everything come in without ever having the shield up of that boundary. And that's a boundary sometimes to protect you. It protects us. Boundaries protect us in lots of ways. It's not you're not trying to be mean, with you, but I gotta create this boundary, honey, because you are not good for me.
I love it.
That kind of helped me through, with that, and realizing those four things, those were it. Those were king. For me.
I hope it's going to help a woman out there. Pull on your support system. Make sure whatever resources you've been using before, if they're useful, continue using them.
Yes.
Know your boundaries. If you don't have them, set some. And this one worked for me a lot. Pay attention to your hidden agenda. Sometimes you're working stuff out for you and not for that person you're trying to help. Ooh, Yasheema, why did you do that? Bring in all of this. It's not even Sunday yet. And you brought all this good stuff. I feel like I need a plate or something to put some offering in there for all this stuff that you just brought. I love it. I love it. Yasheema, we are wrapping up.
All right.
And I want to thank you so much for sharing this story, because it's a personal story. Not, you're in the field. You don't necessarily want people to know. It's good when we're asking, right? We're trained to ask. But as mental health workers, we're trained to also be that blank figure in the room. We don't necessarily show people the human side that we have to go home to, right? The dirty laundry, the husband that pisses us off, or maybe it's us pissing them off. But, we don't get to show, always show all of that
That's
stuff,
right.
Because we have to. But, thank you for being vulnerable enough to kind of lift that curtain and say, yeah, if this is going to help another sister, I'm going to show you that this doesn't, here I am, parenting coach, social worker, been all the system, and life pulled me into its classroom and asked you to pull that extra. What's your plan for the future, Yasheema?
My plan for the future. So listen.
Besides putting that ish on the self.
All right, besides putting that ish on myself. Yes. I'm working on, I really have had my parent coaching kind of on ice for a little bit, because I really wanted to focus on what I really wanted to focus on. And so I'm getting back started with parent coaching come April. And so I'm excited about that. I have all the information on my website. Now, the Hot Moms Life Club, we're getting back going with that. With the pandemic, it's been hard. The big thing about, hot moms is getting out there, being able to be with one another and seeing each other and hugging and kissing and joking and spitting in the atmosphere, laughing and all that, right? And so we haven't been able to do all that in 2 years. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting back to doing some of the hot mom stuff, the activities, and definitely going to be doing the Hot Moms Conference in September. So I'm excited about that. I'm really hoping that the pandemic will cooperate and I can do it on a small scale, face to face. But if not, we're doing it virtual. And so they can check out everything that I'm getting into and doing on my website, Dr. Max.
Yes, and how can if someone wants to reach you, if there's a hot mom who wants to be reminded that she's a hot mom or need a little parenting help, how can they reach you, Yasheema?
All right. Well, really, follow me on Instagram. I like to put some inspirational stuff on there and things that's going on. And my Instagram handle is Sheema the Coach. Sheema the Coach. THE Coach.
All right. That's SHEEMATHE Coach. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. And then from there, you'll be able to see all the others I'm into. And my website is www.yasheemamarshall.com.
All right. Well, thank you, Yasheema. We are just finished listening to Yasheema Marshall, everyone, as she shared her story of how she had to pull that extra from inside of her when her baby sister was struggling with a severe mental illness, and she took her in and tried to help her, but then had to make the decision that she had to actually remove her from her physical presence to be able to help her. I just love featuring the extra that shows up when we women are challenged in our ordinary lives. Thanks for joining us on Her Story, Her Journey podcast. I'm Dr. Max. And if you want to share your story, or if you know a woman who would like to, please send me a DM on Instagram at herstory.herjourney. That's herstory.herjourney. And, I like to leave y'all with some scripture. So remember, as always, 2 Corinthians verse 10, for when I am weak, that's when I am is strong. Take care, everyone.
Aww.